What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you, well, with a little market watch today. Before I begin, hold on one second, I forgot. Alright. Go to YuGiOh YGOPaisano.com, check out my brand new field centers. I just got these in. I got a bunch of new tokens in as well. I got the Luffy token. I got the other version of the Primal Being token. Those just got in today as well, so look at that. Monkey D. Luffy. And there's the Primal Being token. I know a lot of people wanted that one, so there is right there. We got brand new field centers in on the website. So make sure to get it while it's still available because these things normally sell out. And it's going to be at least a month minimal before I can get more in. I actually did get a new Telemint and a new Sprite field center in as well. So there's a Telemint right there, Lulucaros, everyone knows that. And of course, once again, I got an alternate version of Dark Magician Girl, which is actually the original Dark Magician Girl. Little fun fact. And yeah, check them out on my website. Once again, it's YuGiOhPaisano.com. It's gonna be listen, it's gonna be a crazy day for me. I'm running around today. I'm fulfilling a ton of orders. I gotta ship out a ton of orders. If you order before 4 o'clock, it gets shipped out same day. Anything over $25 is free shipping. Anything under, $3 shipping. Everything's ship tracked. All right, let's talk about Power of the Elements. This set did not disappoint for the most part. We'll talk about that right at the gate. Let's hit up let's start off with the three things. You got Exorcisters, Sprite, and Primeval Plant Telements. These are the three cores out of Power the Elements, and for the most part throughout this regional weekend, these three cores dominated, right? Well, yes and no. Obviously, the most dominant deck in the meta right now, the best deck in format, the BDIF, is going to be Sprites. It showed the most dominant showing throughout all the events this past weekend. Now, Telements were right behind it, so Telements weren't that bad. Exosisters, well, there were some that topped, but I didn't hear about Exosisters dominating regionals. I was informed that Exosisters were going to be the be-all, end-all. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually building a deck. I'm building all three of these decks myself right now. Sprites, I have just about done waiting for it to come in the mail. I did order Sprites. I had buddies at regional say, V, you're going to want to get Sprites. They are what everyone's saying they are. And then I went, I think yesterday, and basically ordered my entire Sprite core, a chunk of Telements, and some Exorcisms. So I'm finishing up Telements. I think I just need to get 3 of the field spell, but $85? No. For $85, you better be the best deck in the game, okay? If you're not, I'm not dropping 85 bones. It makes 0 sense. The price of Primeval Planet Perlino, it will be going down in value. Sprites, though, it's all over the place. You see where it says $75? That's not necessarily true. In fact, Sprite Blue is actually roughly around $90. Watch this. This guy has a 75, but it's damaged. And then from verified sellers, you're looking at $95 a copy for Sprite Blue. So this card is overpriced, but it's overpriced because it's the best deck in the game right now. As far as Exorcist Martha, which was roughly around 35, is barely holding 20. Now, Ultimate Slayer was a card I was actually expecting to see a lot more play, and it didn't. And here's why I think why. We have Dark Rule no more, so Ultimate Slayer doesn't need to see as much play, period. That's it. That's it. That's all there is. I think Ultimate Slayer is a better card when you have more card advantage with other cards like Maxine in the meta. But because Maxine doesn't exist in our meta, Ultimate Slayer is not going to see play. Now, can it? Yes. Let me just pause real quickly and just mention the fact that we're going to be getting a ban list. Probably the next, in my opinion, 24 to 72 hours, we should have a ban list. That's my opinion. I think that's a good time frame for a ban list. What could happen in that ban list? Well, you let me know in the comments down below. I will say, though, I think Telements, the whole core is cheap. I bought the whole core minus the field spell, which I think is going to be tanking soon. Martha, I think, is going to tank as well, so I'm going to wait to get that. I need 2 more. But for Sprite, I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon. They're going to be going down in value. This weekend was a litmus test for the best, and the best is Sprites. Even though I personally like Telements more, Sprites is the best. And you have to acknowledge as a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, you have to acknowledge the best whether you're playing against it or you're going to play it. Very important for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players to understand that fact. One of the best hand traps has been DD Crow. Every deck plays DD Crow. Now, me personally, I'm not crazy about this card. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's if you need it, you got to use it. But that's how I feel about DD Crow. The current meta needs this card because obviously with Swap Frog, that engine, you need DD Crow. Against Telements, you need to snipe some of those cards away, 100%. And with Exorcist, well, it's all right, I guess. Nevertheless, this card's a needed card. It's as cheap as $8. And of course, Solar Red is roughly around 650. All right. Nibiru has been seeing play. Now, it's so weird because we still have adventures around. So theoretically, with adventures running around, Nibiru shouldn't see play. But it is. Because YuGiOh players are playing a ton of hand traps. Infinite Premise, Ashboss Majority Spring, Ghost Ogre. I'll mention all these hand traps. But Nibiru is still seeing play because if you pair them up with Effect Filler or Imperm, the game's over for your opponent that turn. You don't need much to get a combo going. You open Sprite Blue, Nib, and any way to negate anything your opponent does, the game's over. Like, we're done talking. 0. Bye. And I think that's what makes Nib so unique, is the fact that it has a chance of actually seeing play, despite the fact that your opponent can put out Omni Negates. In fact, Ghost Ogre Stone Rabbit is also seeing play. This card's terrible against 2 elements, but really good against everything else. Now, Ghost Ogre Stone Rabbit has a bunch of listings, a bunch of listings. It's low as $1, high as $220. I imagine it's probably more than that, right? Let's see. Look at that chart. Ugh. Healthy. It's roughly around, okay, you know what, 240, yeah, about 245, we'll say. Not bad. Listen, Ultramarine Ghost Ogre Stone Rabbit may be a little bit too expensive for everyone's. Let me repeat myself because I know for a fact half of you didn't hear what I just said. Ghost Ogre Stone Rabbit may be too expensive for a lot of people's blood, but what I will say is there is common versions. As long as you're not playing gold, you're playing and ready to win, so why not do it? It doesn't really matter if you have the highest rarity, as long as the card resolves. That's it. My ulti might not resolve, but your common might. It doesn't matter at that point, does it? Alright, Triple Tactics Talents obviously seeing play. We talked about this right before this region weekend. I said the best card in the meta is Triple Tactics Talents. And it is. In a meta in which everybody's playing Effect Filler, Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, Ashboss from Joy Spring, DD Crow, and another card I'll mention in a second, Triple Tactics Talents is a house of a card. And it's cool that it's finally seeing play. It's getting the respect it deserves. And I feel like a lot of you players just don't understand why. Well, besides the fact that if your opponent resolves a hand job against you, you better have follow-up. The card is just a really broken. Have you read it? Really broken. Part of Prosperity obviously seeing play in a lot of decks, and you know what? The market price went up a little bit. It's roughly around 120 bucks. When those Megatins coming out? We get Megatins, right? We're getting Megatins, right? Listen, if you are looking to play Sprites, T elements, if you're looking to go to regionals, you might want to consider playing Product Prosperity. If you're playing at locals, I would not play this card. You can even run Pot of Desires, even though it's only at 2, even though it's nowhere near as good, rather than Pot of Prosperity. And the reason is very simple. Why would you pay $120 when the tints come out and the reprint of Prosperity is going to be hitting at most $20 once it's fully available for everybody to get? So, you can get this version, but I don't think you should get this version. And of course, one of my favorite tech cards, which I did not see coming, Paleozoic Donald. This was done when a player's, I think he sided 3 of these. It's like saying, hey, I like DD Crow, but can I have DD Crow that does more, that helps me get into Link 2s and 2 whatevers? Yeah, sure, says Paleozoic Donald. You go first, you do your combo, whatever. You set Donald. Activate this card, and this card, after activating, and besides the fact that it can just snipe a card on board, it's like DD Crow for the board, whatever. But in fact, besides the fact that it can snipe any card, and when I mean any card, let me see. Any face-up card. So, you know, Mystic Mind, that healthy card. Any card, Paleozoic Donald can snipe. Later on in the game state, if you activate a trap, it becomes a level 2. Gee, I wonder how Sprites can use this card. And of course, Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians, has been wrecking havoc. Now, yes, there's Needle Fiber, goes into Celine, goes into Access Code Talker. And everyone's going to go, get rid of Needle Fiber. No, Celine's the one. Mind you, Dual Overlord has a lot of bannable cards, and I think Celine for a long while is one of those bannable cards. We also talk about Konami wanting to hit the problematic card, and we constantly harp on this, like Mystic Mind and Artifact Side. Those are problematic. We agree on that. The thing is, Konami doesn't always hit the problematic card directly. What they do instead is hit other cards that the problematic card uses. Why? Because Konami's drunk, and when they're drunk, they're going to make choices that aren't the best for you, son. These are one of them. All right. Looking at Celine, Queen of the Master Magicians. This card right now has a price point of roughly around... Oh, let's look at Italian. Ooh, okay. It's roughly around $37, which, listen, it's a lot of money for this card. If this card was to get hit, it would go down to about 3. Still a good card to hold for your ban list binder. All right. Why am I looking at Water Enchanters? Let me explain. Water Enchanters was used in Sprites this past weekend. In fact, Sprites didn't just have one build that was the build. You played Adventures with Sprites or you played Sprites. It didn't really matter. In fact, cool thing about Water Enchanters, you could pitch it with Swampfrog to use Swampfrog effect. Pretty broken. Yes, we know. But look at Water Enchanters right now. Look how cheap it is. Ultra versions at a Grand Craze is roughly around $21. Ultimate Rares, $42. And CRs, well, they're kind of cheap, actually. It says 70, but I'm going to go with it's not. Let's see. TCG Play needs to get the sword. Let me see. Oh, it is 70. Oh, hey, you guys are right. This is... Mark this day in the calendar. Listen, $70 for a CR Water Enchanters. Either way, this is a great card and definitely a good option for Sprite players. Not only is Totally Awesome going to be your Omnigate, but your whole Enchanters package can potentially be your Omnigate depending on your hand you draw. If not, well, it could be helping you use the Venture package to help your Sprite combo. It actually works really good together. So, pretty cool. Dark Rule No More is a card I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to start playing in the main deck, and here's why. POV, you're playing against anybody. They have a full board. Your little impermanence is going to do nothing. It's a joke. But Dark Ruler will do something. You see, let's say I'm going first and I'm playing Sprites and you're playing Telements, and I start doing my Sprite combo, and then you just Telement hand trap me into you pick the monster. I'm not sure if they could go Winda my turn depending what they draw. They could definitely go into... I'm drawing a blank on a monster name, and you guys probably comment 1,000 comments down below. Please let everybody else know, but it's the one that nobody almost... Caliga. Invoke Caliga. There it is. They're going to invoke Caliga on you during your turn as you're doing your combo. Now, that kind of sucks. And most players will have to go, oh, I'll just pass turn. And they'll just get botted next turn. 100%. Okay. But what if you main Dark Ruler No More? Well, that doesn't happen. They do the whole combo. As you're doing your combo, they bring out Caliga, and you're like, cool, Dark Ruler. Shut up. And then you just continue beasting on them. Pretty awesome, number one. Number two, I want to emphasize the fact that this card not only is really good going in that game state I just brought to you, but if you go second, which can happen, rather than drawing and using all your hand traps, you open Dark Rule or more, you can let your opponent go do full combo. Because if you Dark Rule them, you break their board. And then you have all your hand traps which you saved, and then you kill them next turn. So it doesn't really matter. So I think this is a phenomenal card. It's going to start making its way into the main deck. Prismatic Secrets are 18s. Commons are roughly around $2 to $3 depending where you get them. They came in the Structure Spirit Charmers and Albat Strike, so they are available out there. This is definitely a great card, and whatever deck you're playing, I don't care if it's the meta or not, you're going to want to main this card. King of the Swamp obviously showed the most dominance. Anyone who played Tier Limits played King of the Swamp. With a price point as low as $11 to as high as $100, King of the Swamp is a needed card for everyone running Tier Limits. Some players are using other packages like Diviner in the OCG, and I don't think it's going to be used yet, Diviner meaning, until we get a Shizus here in the TCG. By then we should have the Megatins, and hopefully Diviner gets a reprint, but we'll talk about that for another video. Nevertheless, King of the Swamp is the card, the go-to card. The fact that it says Aqua is pretty good too. It actually has viability within Tier Limits. Opponent of Red Lotus is a card we talked about this past Friday. Commons are $1, commons are $2 from the structure deck, and if you want to get a super rare opponent of Red Lotus, it kind of spiked, like, I don't know, recently. This card price point right now is roughly around $7. And the reason why you want to play this card, obviously, because your opponent opens Dark Rule No More, which everyone's citing. You hit him with a point of Red Lotus, you get rid of Dark Rule No More, they actually have to play against whatever board you created. And that is insanely scary. A point of Red Lotus also gives hand knowledge, which allows you as a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player with multiple negations on board to see what they're doing. It's actually insanely important. If you are playing Tier Limits, you already know what your opponent's playing depending on your game state. But still, this card kind of takes one out the way. And if your opponent only opened up Sprite Blue and you take it out of their hand, someone give them a pillow and a blanket because they're about to get put to bed. All right. Spirit mode is amazing. People are slowly going to start playing this. The price of Ghost, by the way, went from, the market price is $83. It used to be $50. It's now at $73. Spirit mode all over the place is $15 minimum. Why is that, you might ask? It's a great question. Spirit mode is a needed card in the side deck. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are slowly starting to realize that. And to me, this is a staple card for your side deck. If you don't have this card, you're going to lose. Make sure to have it. All right. Galaxy Cyclone is another card for Yu-Gi-Oh players that might now want to run into, let's say, Mystic Mine. This is the reason why you're going to see this card see a lot of play. It's as cheap as 75 cents for super rare. Expensive as, well, this one says 10. What? I might get the original print first edition, right? Am I wrong? The Megaton one's not, these are the old Megatons, so not, okay. No, what? Okay. It's $23. What? Okay, hold on a second. Let's go look at the Megatons. That'd be great if this was like $22.99. They fit 14. All right, so everyone's starting to wake up to the fact that Galaxy Cyclone's a really good card against a lot of decks, including Tier Elements, obviously with their field spell, and of course the opponent's playing Mystic Mine. And they're not man enough to fight you and drop mine. This is how you really out it. All right. Then we have Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion. I was talking about how DD Crow and why even though I like DD Crow a lot, Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion, in my opinion, is a better card. And let me explain why simply. Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion stops Call by the Grave. That's it. Yes, Call by the Grave's only at 1, and I mean, it's also a bunch of other cards. But yes, Call by the Grave's only at 1, but if you have Totally Awesome and you get your Totally Awesome hit by Call by the Grave, bro, what? What are you doing? It's gonna suck to suck. But with Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion, it stops that, amongst many other cards. Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion is a card a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to be needing. No doubt in my mind. Cheapest price point, $4. Don't worry about the Starlight Rares. They're overpriced in my opinion. I wouldn't even touch that card with a 10-foot pole. And I like max rarity, but I don't like bad money. And that's, if you drop in 300 on Starlight, it's bad money. All right. Right here, look at that, 35 bucks. That is insanely cheap. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised when Secret of Ghostbound Haunted Mansion rises it in value. Once everyone realizes this card is almost, I'm not sure if it's better than Nitty Crow, but it's definitely good. In a game of Yu-Gi-Oh right now where turns last 1 to 2 turns max, Ghostbuster Haunted Mansion is a really good card for 1 to 2 turns max. Comment down below, let me know what you think about this card. One of my favorite cards, in fact, my favorite card of the weekend is Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. This card is used in Splites. In my opinion, it's a great card. You side in Splites, only one of, and it's good against not Splite decks. Against Splite decks, they'll laugh at you, they'll beat you, they'll clap your cheeks. But not Splite decks, i.e., I don't know, let's see, Tier Elements. We'll go with Tier Elements. This card is insane. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to start at least trying this card out. Once again, I don't think this card should be in the main, but definitely should be in the side. And I do think as time goes on, Yu-Gi-Oh players might actually consider picking this card up. Now, the original Prince Rare version has slowly been bought out right in front of your face. Looking at it right now, besides the Italians, which look absolutely gorgeous, listen, 14 bucks right there. Grab that as soon as possible. I do predict this card going to put higher in value. You don't want this one? Don't worry about it. You have an Ultra version of the card. The Ultra version of the card has been slowly rising. See that? It's roughly around, from verified sellers, $5-6 bucks. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, before everyone else tells you, this is a card that Splites can abuse. Whether you hard draw and just use it, or whether you actually just, you know, use it and throw it in your opponent's side of the field and go, hey, there you go, hold that. It's just really good, really good. You cannot special summon monsters except link monsters. Gee, that kind of hurts Nibiru. I mean, if it gets to that point. It also hurts anyone trying to play things like Evenly Matched or Lightning Storm. Nightmare Corruptor Ibli is just a phenomenal card. I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are slowly gravitating towards. And I definitely think this is a card that you might want to consider picking up. Especially since cards like Dark Rule No More, we just saw it, where it is. Dark Rule No More is scary, but also says negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. Ibli says, hey, I'm a great card having your side of board, and I have an effect, and I'm going to go on your side of board now, and since you Dark Rule that guy, you still can't do things. Like, it's really good, and I think people don't realize it yet, but as Yu-Gi-Oh players find ways to abuse cards, because that's what we do as competitive players, we find cards and we go, hey, let's make this card really on fun. Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, no doubt in my mind, is going to start seeing play. So definitely keep an eye on this card. Keep an eye on all these cards. The Yu-Gi-Oh meta is still evolving, but this past weekend was a litmus test for what is. Ecosystem players, wake up. Show them. Everybody else, let's get back to work. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys for my videos. Make sure to go over here to YuGiOh YGOPaisano.com. Check out my amazing, gorgeous, absolutely stunning field centers. Listen, if you have a low rarity deck, if you don't have the meta, it doesn't matter. As long as you have some of these, absolutely gorgeous. Look at Gigantic Sprite. Absolutely gorgeous field centers. You always win at locals, probably, with these. Absolutely stunning, man. It's your boy V, and you paisanos. Well, you paisanos have a great day.